Hi friends, it's Sudhya from Backyard Garden Highlights. Hope you guys are doing great today. Today I'm planning to do some more winter sowing activities. Johnny's Cat's Formula Mix, the stock flower. I really loved lavender color bloom last year, but unfortunately I had only very few plants I could get it from the winter sowing because I sowed some 3 to 4 seeds and I got only those. And I tried, I didn't have enough setup for indoor seed growing like the grow lights and self and everything. I wasn't really getting enough luck with growing them indoor. If we need to do indoor seed sowing, it takes good amount of time to care for the plants, which I couldn't really plan. Winter sowing method really works well for people who wants to spend less time in seedling growing but enjoy a lot of plants during the growing season. So I'm going to try this Cat's Formula Mix stock also in winter sowing and see if I'm able to be successful. If this works, I will continue to use most of my seed growing using the winter sowing method than the indoor seed growing method. Then the next one I have is painted Desi. I actually missed to plant them a lot in my garden. For some reason I planted maybe few seeds and finally I got only one plant that I could transplant, and I got only few buds out of it and one of it got bloomed, and I was like dying for that color and the beauty of this flower. Unfortunately the rabbit or some critter ate all the remaining buds and started eating the leaves, so the plant was unable to grow last year. But as it's a perennial, it is still there in the garden. You guys would have noticed in my winter garden tour. This year I'm hoping a good amount of bloom from that plant, but I want to really plant this in a lot of quantity. So I'm going to try in this winter sowing method, or I could still wait until spring because anyway it's not going to bloom this year. So it's going to take a year to start the bloom. So I'm still thinking whether I should plant today or not, but whatever the case, I will definitely grow these plants a lot to make a wonderful cut flower garden. And then I have Pansies. Pansies are most popular flower that will welcome every spring for most of us from the garden center. If you go there, you will see like hundreds of seedlings and the plants and the planters with the beautiful combinations of these pansy flowers. Pansy is a cool flower and it can tolerate frost, guys. So that's the awesome part of pansies. It will really give a nice eye treat for anybody who is longing for spring flowers. Only challenge with pansy growing is it requires darkness to germinate. People used to seed them in the tray and cover it with dark or black color cover and put it in the basement, and once they germinate they take them outside to the grow lights or sunny spot. But as I said, like I'm not a person who does most of growing in indoor. I want to do everything outside as much possible, so I'm going to give it a try. There is nothing to lose if this is not going to make it, right? Because anyway I will buy a lot of fancy plants from the garden centers as well. So I'm thinking to try this in winter sowing method today. The next one I have is Blazing Star. One thing that I learned after buying the seed last year is, although Blazing Star can be grown from seed, it takes few years to produce blooms. So if you are really looking for getting bloom for the first year, this is not the seed you will grow. Better you should buy calms, the Blazing Star calms. Then they can really give you the bloom for the first year. But because I already purchased it and I did try winter sowing last year and I got some 3 to 4 plants and they are still in my ground and they were able to really make it. I don't know whether they are going to bloom this year, but I thought like anyway I have leftover seeds, so I can try this year as well and keep these plants tucked in any of my raised bed garden. Maybe down the line they will bloom. But once they start bloom, they are going to look gorgeous in the garden. They will also attract bees and they really have interesting flowering structure. Usually all the spiky flowers, they start open the bud from the bottom. Blazing Star actually starts to open from the top and slowly it goes to the bottom. It's an interesting flower and it's really gorgeous looking flower. So I'm going to try this also this year. For the winter sowing, make sure to use potting soil mix than the seed starter mix. The soil should be prepared in a way that when you squeeze it, it should be enough to hold the shape. It should not drop waters. Alright guys, now all the milk jugs have been filled with soil. So let me show you guys how I am sowing the seeds. I will be labeling these so that I know what plants I am getting. Cat's Formula mix stock, and it takes 90 to 100 days to bloom. I am going to use all the seeds today. This is how the stock seeds look. Next one I have is China Aster, and this one is from Eden Brothers. This is how China Aster seeds look, and these seeds are larger in size, so we need to sow them in ½ inch deep. Next one is Pansies. This is how Pansy seeds look. I am going to maybe sow everything in one jug. So I am just going to spread the Pansy seeds on top of it and then cover them with soil. It's a lot of seeds. I think it's like almost more than 50, but I am going to try that method as well. And just make sure there is no dirt around the space before you duct tape it. So press it firmly so that it sticks on the surface of the container. That's it guys, the jug is ready. I'm going to repeat the same process for all the jugs. All the labels are ready, so I'm going to keep them inside the jug. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Hope you guys liked watching this video. I'll see you in another video. Please support my channel by subscribing, commenting and sharing it with your friends.